Tonight, you might glance at someone across a room and feel something shift inside your chest. A pull, a warmth, something almost beyond your control. You will probably call it attraction. You will probably not think twice about where it came from. But the truth of that feeling is far older and far stranger than anything you have ever been told. Love did not begin with candlelit dinners or handwritten letters or a song that came on at exactly the right moment. Love began in a world without language, without cities, without names. It began in the dark, around a fire, somewhere between 300,000 and 200,000 years ago, in a social group of roughly 30 to 50 people who had never met a stranger in their lives. And in that world, the rules of attraction were nothing like yours. Your ancestors did not fall in love the way you do, but somehow, what they felt, what drove them toward one another, what made them choose one person over another, it is still running inside you right now. You feel it every time your heart rate rises near someone you want. Every time you find yourself seeking out the same face in a crowded room. Every time you cannot explain why you care so much about someone you have known for only weeks. So where did this come from? And what was love actually like before anyone had a word for it? For most of human prehistory, your ancestors lived in small bands. Researchers like Robin Dunbar at the University of Oxford have spent decades studying the social architecture of early humans, and what Dunbar found is now known as Dunbar's number. The human brain, he argued, evolved to manage stable social relationships with roughly 150 individuals at a time. But the inner circle, the people your ancestor truly bonded with, was much smaller, closer to 5 to 15. These were the people they groomed, shared food with, slept near, mourned when they were gone. In a world that small, choosing a partner was not a private decision. It was a community event. There was no dating pool of millions. There were no strangers to swipe through. There were only the people you had always known, and the rare outsider who wandered in from another band. And yet, even in that narrow world, something recognizable happened. Something that looked, from the outside, a great deal like what you feel. If you are enjoying the video, make sure you subscribe. Anthropologist Helen Fisher spent over 4 decades studying love at its biological core. Her research mapped the brain activity of people in the early stages of romantic attachment, and what she found surprised even her. 3 distinct systems lit up. First, lust, driven by testosterone and estrogen, the raw biological pull toward physical contact. Second, attraction, dominated by dopamine and norepinephrine, the system that creates focus, obsession, the inability to stop thinking about one specific person. Third, attachment, powered by oxytocin and vasopressin, the system that creates the deep, durable bond that keeps 2 people returning to each other over time. These 3 systems are not modern. They are ancient. Fisher traced their evolutionary origins back millions of years, far before modern Homo sapiens existed. Your ancient ancestor, standing barefoot on the savannah 200,000 years ago, ran on the exact same neurochemical circuitry: the dopamine spike, the racing heart, the singular obsession with one face. It was all already there. But here is the part no one tells you. For most of human prehistory, your ancestors were not monogamous by default. The evidence is complex and debated, but anthropologist David Buss at the University of Texas has spent decades analyzing mating strategies across cultures. What he found is that humans are, in his words, a moderately polygynous species with a strong pair bonding overlay. This means your ancestors existed in a kind of tension between a system built for strategic mating with multiple partners and a system built for deep, sustained attachment to one. Both systems are still running in you. At the same time, right now, your ancient ancestor did not swipe left or right. They read signals far more subtle and far more honest than any profile picture. They read smell. A 1995 study by Klaus Wedekind, now known as the sweaty t-shirt experiment, revealed that humans are powerfully attracted to the scent of people whose immune system, encoded in a gene cluster called the MHC, differs from their own. Your body was built to sniff out genetic compatibility. Long before you consciously notice someone, your immune system has already run a background check. Your ancestor read posture, gait, the sound of a voice dropping in pitch, the direction of a gaze. These were not trivial social signals. In a world without written language, your body was the only text. The way someone stood near a fire, the way they moved when they carried something, the steadiness or trembling of their hands, all of it carried meaning. All of it was read, processed, acted upon. And then there was touch. Primatologist Robin Dunbar, whose work on social bonding transformed how researchers understand early human relationships, found that for our primate ancestors, grooming was the primary social currency. It built trust, it reduced cortisol, it created intimacy without a single word being spoken. Your ancient ancestor almost certainly communicated love, or something indistinguishable from it, through sustained physical contact long before they had a sound to attach to the feeling. The first love was probably silent. Think about what that means. Two people in a band of 40, watching each other for months, learning the rhythm of the other's breathing at night, noticing the small things, which berries they preferred, how they reacted when a predator was near, whether they shared what they found or kept it. Love was not declared, it was demonstrated, slowly, over time, in action. There was also jealousy, anger, the specific pain of watching the person you were drawn to turn their attention to someone else. This was not a modern invention. David Buss documented jealousy across 37 different cultures and found it to be one of the most universal human emotional responses in existence. Jealousy, he argues, is an evolved alarm system, a signal that a valued bond is under threat. Your ancestor felt it, viscerally, without any framework to explain it. And what happened when the bond broke? When someone they were attached to died or left or turned away? Grief. The same neurochemical systems that create attachment, oxytocin, vasopressin, the deep bonding hormones, are the same systems that make loss feel like physical pain. Researchers at Columbia University have shown through brain imaging that romantic rejection activates the same neural circuits as physical injury. Your ancient ancestor who lost a mate was not just emotionally devastated, they were neurologically wounded. Their body treated the absence of that person as a form of harm, and still they chose again. Still they moved towards someone new. Because the attachment system, that ancient, stubborn, irreducible piece of biology, never stopped running. There were no ceremonies at first, no rings, no vows spoken before witnesses, but there were rituals. Researchers studying ancient human campsites have found evidence of sustained pair bonding going back at least 100,000 years, inferred from the division of resources, the spatial arrangement of sleeping areas, the burial patterns of individuals interred together. Proximity in death often mirrors proximity in life. The people buried side by side were, in many cases, the people who had chosen each other. Chosen. That word matters. Because even in the most constrained prehistoric world, choice existed. Even with a small pool and powerful social pressure, something subjective, something individual, something irreducible to pure survival logic was happening when one person moved toward another. Something that looked, however primitively, like preference, like longing, like the beginning of love. You carry all of it. The dopamine circuits, the scent preference, the jealousy alarm, the grief response, the attachment drive that makes you reach towards someone in the dark without thinking. None of this was built by modern society. None of this came from movies or music or the stories culture told you about romance. It was built by 200,000 years of humans choosing each other in hard circumstances, with nothing but their bodies to read and their instincts to trust. It was built by every ancestor who felt a pull toward one specific face in a firelit camp and moved toward it anyway, not knowing why, not needing to. So tonight, when you glance across a room and feel something shift inside your chest, understand what that feeling actually is. It is not just attraction. It is not just chemistry. It is the entire length of human history, still running, still reaching, still choosing. Exactly the way it always has. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future uploads. And before you go, check out the next video on your screen. you might discover something even more interesting.